Hi guys, it's Thomas and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, and if you haven't noticed, first of all, I'm going to have the name on this channel changed from Tombitch. I'm going to turn it into LB Twink because, you know, that's me. I just think it's time for a change. Like, I'm gonna keep some of my old videos up. I don't want to keep all of them up because, like, I kind of just, like, cringe when I watch them. Today, I'm kind of gonna be touching on a serious topic. I have been wanting to talk about this for a really long time, and I kind of did already talk about it. If you follow me on my Instagram, you've seen before. Today I'm going to talk about how at 17 I found out I had HIV. I came to the park, just sat in my car and thought, like, finally I have a private place to film. I don't know why I've never thought of this because I see 1,000 other YouTubers like do it. I'm gonna try to not be so scatterbrained in this video. So to start this story, I just want to say, like, I still kind of am like a little party animal. Like, I like going out, I like doing things, I like just like having a good time. Like, it's probably really bad, but you know, YOLO. So I'm sitting here editing this and that shit was so cringy. I'm sorry you just saw that. Ah! I want to add a disclaimer to this video that this is going to contain some graphic talk. I'm going to talk about drug use, I'm going to talk about sex, and I'm gonna talk about HIV, which is 3 really touchy topics. When I was 16, I honestly, like, was off all the shit. I was off the Xans, I was off fucking meth, I was off, like, just so many other drugs. Like, you know, the normal. I would drink a lot, I would, like, smoke weed a lot. I don't know why I've been like that. I just feel like I'm very, I don't want to say empty inside, but I kind of want to do say empty. And then when I was younger, I would fill that with, like, drugs because that was honestly what would make me feel the best. I'm sure you guys have all heard of the app Grindr. For those of you who do not know, Grindr is a gay hookup app, or like a gay dating app in general. That's at least how I look at it, even though it is most definitely a fucking hookup app. I was on that shit since I was young, and that shit's popping. I don't know, honestly, I just like the attention. I know how shitty that is, and I hate that I'm like that. Grindr, if you ever watched this video, I'm sorry I fooled your system, but you know, it's not just me. There's so many fucking young guys on there, and you guys should, like, get on that. There was one particular night I had where I was sleeping at my best friend's house. I was with, like, all my friends. We were all sleeping over at his house, and I was on Grindr. Everyone was falling asleep. This guy messaged me, and he was like, hey, like, do you want to hang out? Like, do you want to come over? I went, and I met up with that guy. This guy, I walked into this house. It was literally a gay trap house. Like, if you didn't think those exist, let me tell you, those fucking exist. They're I mean, okay, yeah, they're nasty as fuck. The aesthetic is like a cuter trap house. Like, it's not as dirty. They're usually a little more put together, but there's always, like, cool lights in there and shit because everyone is just twacked off their ass. I kind of described that one in a positive way, but just know, like, it wasn't a positive experience at all. I went to this gay trap house, and when I got there was this guy, and he had this bong. I didn't know what meth was, honestly. I didn't know what all these drugs were. I was like, you know what, like, I'm down to, like, have a good time. Like, let's just, like, I want to try new things. I just want to experience something. It was fishy, most definitely, but I didn't know better. I didn't know what I was doing because that's not something they teach you in school. I mean, they do teach you about meth, but, like, obviously there was no extensive teaching on it, and that kind of fucked me over because I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. There was also this drug that's pretty prevalent in the gay community called G. It's short for GHB, and basically it's kind of like roofies. Bitch, what the fuck? That should have been the first red fucking flag. He handed me the pipe, and he was like, hey, do you want a hit of this? And I was like, what is it? And he was like, Tina. Tina is the nickname for meth in the gay community, a capital T for those of you who do not know, for if I have any younger gay guys watching who are also on Grindr, because I know there's a lot of you who are. Just watch out with anyone in that name with a capital T in their name, or anyone saying they're partying with a capital T, or the word Tina, or, like, blowing clouds, or any cloud emojis, any shit like that. Stay away from that shit. The fucking fact, I have to say this, baffles me. Like, what the fuck? And so I took a hit of it, not knowing what it was. Fuck it, like, after I took the first hit, I honestly have never felt a drug better in my life. It's really kind of hard for me to say that because that's really where all the root of these issues are coming from, is because that one time that I took a fucking hit. I'm not even gonna lie, like, what that drug does was, like, it just enhances everything. By enhancing everything, I definitely mean sexually. I realized I just left that part out, so I just sounded like a weirdo. That was kind of how I got all roped into that shit, was because I went to that trap house and I took a hit, and also that night. This is a trigger warning. I'm just going to talk about sexual abuse for a second, so if that's something that triggers you, just skip ahead, honestly. That night, I took too much of the roofies. I deserve a neck for that one. Ah! I hadn't drinking, but my dumbass was just high. Oh yeah, let's just do all the fucking drugs. I honestly have a lot of issues that I haven't really uprooted in my life, so I was just open to just do whatever the fuck I could get in my system. I don't remember vividly, but I do remember being passed out, and when I woke up, someone was me. That's not okay. Regardless, I don't think any younger guy should be getting drugs from an older guy and then not remembering what happens. I kind of got roped into that shit. I used to work at my old job at a yogurt shop. I would buy my own stuff. I would go in the bathroom and I'd fucking do it. I would fucking snort it. And it really got bad to a point where I was just going out and doing it all the time with random ass dudes, just making poor ass decisions, because that's kind of what the drug does to you. It takes over your life and it fucks you over. I would just give myself up to people, and I would just do that so I could escape and I could just get away from all my internal issues I had. And that continued on from when I was 16 and a half into after I was 17. And gay sex is something they really don't teach you about, and so it's something that I've kind of had to figure out by myself. And so I used to be really unsafe when I would do it. As life goes on, I had hit a point where I had lost all of my weight. I was so skinny, and I was just so mentally fucked up. I had reached a point where I was like, I would disappear at night from my house, and I'd be gone for days, and then I'd come back for like a while. I'd just sleep for a shit ton, and then I'd wake up and do the same thing again. And it became a cycle. I was homeschooled at this point, and I don't know how I made it through homeschool, but I was still like on my shit, which was good, but that's what made me think it was okay, because I thought I was doing just fine. I remember one day in particular, I had met up with this dude, and he had given me way too much. I didn't know my limits. And I remember going on for 3 days when I couldn't sleep. And on the third day, I remember hallucinating, like vividly hallucinating, like people around me. I was hearing so many voices, and I just couldn't go to sleep. I had gotten to the point where, like, I would lay in bed the entire night just, like, wanting to go to bed, but I wasn't able to go to bed. I had a psychotic breakdown, basically. I had gone to school, and I went to go take a test, and I sat there taking the test, and I was just shaking. I cracked. I started crying. I just asked my teacher, can I please, like, come back another day? Like, today's just not my day. And she was just like, yeah, it's fine. And, like, I was literally, like, trying to look as composed as I can, but I probably looked like a fucking crackhead, to be honest. It's good that I can laugh about it now. I'd gotten picked up, and I had went home, and that was where I really melted down. I tried laying in bed, and I just literally remember, like, crying in my bed, like, out for help, like, not literally, but in my head I was crying out for help. I was praying to God, honestly. I literally am on the verge of a psychotic meltdown. Like, I literally felt like I was gonna die. I felt like I had overdosed, but I was too scared to go to the doctors. In hindsight, I know it was dumb, and I should have just gone to the doctors, but I didn't. So, hear me out. So, yeah, that fucking happened. Just remember, like, knocking out for, like, what I thought was 5 minutes, and I had a bandana over my eyes because I was trying to block out the light, because I have really bad problems when it comes to sleeping with light around me. Just knocking out for, like I said, what I thought was 5 minutes, but it ended up being an hour. And, like, during my little hour nap that I finally fit in after 3 days, I guess I, like, cried because my bandana was soaked in fucking, I'm pretty sure they were tears. I felt like I was crying. But yeah, after I woke up, I went and I told my guardian. And I told her what was up, because, like, that was when I knew, like, something needed to change. I also think it was my dad's birthday. My dad had passed away when I was younger, and so everything just, like, kind of fell in on that day. It just made me feel really shitty. I'm kind of over talking about the drug addiction part of this because I think you guys get it. And for the younger gay guys who watch this, or for anyone younger, stay away from this drug, because what I'm about to get into now are the everlasting effects that I'm gonna have for the rest of my life because of this drug. That I want to get into this topic. I'm gonna be talking about how I am HIV positive undetectable. Let's get into how I found out I had this. I was 17 and a half when I found out, and I went to my first Pride festival. I had gone to Long Beach Pride. It was 2017. It was my first Pride that I had gone to, and I was really excited, super, like, it was gonna be so much fun. And so I go with my friend, and we went earlier in the day, which, like, we didn't really know. We just were like, oh, like, let's go, like, let's have fun. And so we went there, like, right when it opened. There's a lot of booths, so we were just walking around checking out the booths. This one guy was, like, he had, like, it was one of those trailers where they do, like, HIV testing and stuff. And he was just like, oh, like, hey, do you want to get an HIV test? And I had been like, yeah, it's been, like, a couple months. I'm down. Like, at this point, I had not touched meth. It had been months after. I go in and I take the test, and I'm sitting there. And it's a quick little test. And so we're doing it. And then the guy says to me, he's like, your test is coming up reactive, so we're going to do a second test. Just kind of sat in the trailer, and I was like, okay, yeah, let's do the second test. Like, I was like, I didn't know how to, like, process this information correctly. And so he did the other test, and he said it's still coming up reactive. And he started taking my information down, like, asking a whole bunch of stuff, just, like, trying to talk. He's like, you're gonna be okay, like, don't worry, all this stuff. And it got to the point where I was just like, he was overwhelming me with just, like, throwing all this stuff at me. And I was like, can I please just, like, deal with this on my own? Like, let me just, like, I need to leave. Like, I can't sit in here any longer. I get out of the trailer, and I just, like, walk away. And I still to this day feel like I can't even process this information. Like, the fact that in that moment I had found out that I was going to have this disease that's going to carry on with me for the rest of my life. I still feel like it's going to make me undesirable to people because there's a stigma that lives around it, and it's really, like, people, like, just think I'm dirty, don't touch me, like, if you touch me, I'm gonna get it, like, that kind of stigma is around it. And I walked out to my friend, and my friend was like, oh, like, how was it? And I just told her, I was like, it came up positive. She was like, I'm here for you, like, I'm so sorry. And so, like, shout out to you, you know who you are. I just went on with Pride that weekend. For, like, months, I was just struck in depression. I was 17, so I didn't want to tell my family at the time. And I still haven't really told my family, so they're probably going to watch this. I felt lonely. I felt alone in the whole thing, and I didn't know what to do because I couldn't go to a doctor alone without my family finding out. After I turned 18, I had gotten calls, and one of them was like, it was because I had given them my number when I took the test. They would call me, and they would just tell me, like, oh, like, do you want us to, like, connect you with a doctor? And so, like, they did connect me with a doctor, and I started going in. It took, like, at least a month to get me on medication, but it's extensive. When you first get it, you have to go to the doctors a lot, and it was something that, like, I hadn't really told a lot of people, only my really close friends. And I've had friends come to my doctor's appointments with me and such, and I really do appreciate that. Like, it really does the most for me. But anyways, I got on medication after getting 10,000 million blood tests and talking to 20,000 different people, and here I am. I am almost 19, and I've been on medication for about 8 or 9 months now. And with that being said, that's kind of, like, my storyline for everything, like, and now I'm just gonna sit here and talk to you guys about, oh my god, is the squirrel gonna come to my car? No, literally, this bitch. I talked about this on my Instagram, and I talked about how it made me feel really low. If you're a younger gay guy, stay away from Grindr until you're 18, until you know how to safely have sex. And also something I want to say is, I had always thought about when I was, like, 17, oh, I should go on PrEP. And for those of you who don't know, PrEP is like a drug to help prevent it. It's just like a pill that you take every day, kind of like how girls would take birth control. Like, you just take it once a day. It helps your system, like, battle against it and, like, prevent it. And that's only available to people over 18. For guys at least, which that's also what fucked me over, because I wanted to get on that since I was, like, when I just turned 17, I was like, oh, like, I want to do this. Like, that sounds like a smart idea, but I couldn't. So I think something America and the fucking medical field system, whatever the fuck it is, should do is make it available to guys younger than 18. Like, I feel like that should be available for everyone. Like, why do you have to be 18 to take it? I pretty much just feel like that's, like, a more in-depth story of everything. If you guys have questions, feel free to comment. Feel free to just ask me. Like, I'm here. I want to talk to you guys. If there's anyone going through something like I went through, you aren't alone in that. You really aren't, because when I had posted my little spiel on Instagram about this whole thing, I had a lot of people DM me their kind of little spiels, not necessarily with HIV, but with other STDs and stuff like that. Just know you're not alone as it's going to make you feel. You aren't the only one, and it's okay to reach out. I will try my hardest to be there for someone who's in a similar situation like me. That's gonna wrap up my video for now. I just wanted to sit down and talk to you guys. I haven't really done a YouTube video in a long time, so I thought might as well come back with a bang. This is pretty much my story of how I ended up having HIV at such a young age. So if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, I guess, because I guess that's what people do when they like a video. Like I said, feel free to comment. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I want to start making more videos. If you guys have any suggestions, please leave them down in the comments below this video. Alright guys, have a great rest of your day. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys stuck around for this entire video, because it might be a little lengthy. I'll talk to y'all hopefully sometime soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.